If you thought our current teams in NTE were crazy, just wait until you see this because the meta is about to be completely turned on its head. We have finally had time to really dig into the live server after all those wild kit changes from the beta, and we need to talk about what's coming next because it is going to blow your mind. Before we dive into the absolute madness that is the new tier list of teams, I just want to say a massive thank you for all the support recently. If you enjoy this kind of deep dive theory crafting and want to help the channel out, please take a second to hit that subscribe button. It really helps out a lot, and it means we can keep dropping these massive meta breakdowns. Alright, let's break this down together. Okay, picture this. You're staring at your character roster, wondering who actually deserves your hard-earned materials. To figure out the absolute best teams in the game right now, we aren't just looking at who looks the coolest. We are judging these squads on three major things: raw DPS, which is the absolute king, how easy the team is to actually play without breaking your fingers, and the overall investment level required to make them pop off. To really understand how to build a team that completely deletes bosses, you first need to look at the engines running them, the support characters. Hear me out. If you do not have Sakiri built, you are missing out on your new best friend. She is without a doubt the absolute best buffer and support unit in the entire game by a massive margin. Why is she the secret sauce? Every single time you press her ultimate, she juices up the attack of your entire team. She doesn't just buff, she also groups enemies up so you can wipe them out in one go. When you slap the Speedy Hedgehog set on her, she pumps out even more attack stats for the squad. And to top it off, if you manage to grab her specific arc, Good Boy's Grand Adventure, the attack buffs just go through the absolute roof. Because almost every single main DPS character in NTE right now scales their damage off of their attack stat, Sakiri is the ultimate wildcard. You can slot her into literally any team, making her the most universally broken unit we have right now. But guys, that isn't even half of what makes her so ridiculous. Because she is an incantation element unit, she acts as the trigger for some of the most insane reactions in the game. She triggers Scorch when paired with Chaos units like Daffodil, and she triggers Hexed when paired with Endema units like Nanali and Ji Yuan. Let's talk about pure, unadulterated damage. Right now, Scorch and Hexed are dominating the damage charts, with Scorch stepping up as the undisputed strongest reaction in the entire game. This is entirely thanks to absolute powerhouse DPS units like Baikang and Daffodil pushing the damage ceiling through the roof. Speaking of power levels, Baikang is currently sitting pretty as the second strongest DPS in NTE, while Daffodil is right behind as the third strongest. That alone should tell you how terrifying this next team is. If you put Daffodil, Baikang, and Sakiri on the same team, and then bring in Fadia to round it out, you create what is arguably the strongest team in the game right now. Why? Because adding Fadia unlocks the Discord reaction. I've been testing this for over 100 hours since the beta, and the numbers don't lie. This specific setup is likely going to outdamage even the premium limited character, Nanali. If you're thinking, bro, I don't have Fadia, don't panic. You can swap her out for Haniel. Haniel is basically the best 4-star buffer in the game right now. She gives your team an attack buff whenever she casts her skill and her ultimate. Just keep in mind, Fadia is still the premium pick because her personal damage is higher, and her synergy with Daffodil is just absolutely flawless. Yes, this team is incredibly expensive. You're looking at 4 5-star characters, including the only 2 5-star supports currently available in Sakiri and Fadia. But this completely flips how we usually build our teams in gacha games. The economy in NTE right now is ridiculously player-friendly. We already received 1 free 5-star character. We are getting another free 5-star character, 1 from the mail and 1 from a selector after you do 50 pulls. The game is handing out over 160 free standard pulls. And there is no 50-50 on the limited banner. Because the premium units are so accessible with just a little bit of smart planning, standard free-to-play characters are actually losing their value. You are always going to want to prioritize building these premium god squads because you can actually afford them. Okay, moving on to the second best team in the game. If you want a team that just feels incredibly smooth to play, you need to look at the Blossom Reaction duo, Nanali and Ji Yuan. When you pair these two with a Cosmos character like Zero or Edgar, the team becomes undeniably broken. The bulk of your damage here is coming from Nanali, who is simply one of the greatest DPS units we have. For your last slot, throw in Sakiri. She triggers the Hexed reaction, which buffs your anima damage by a flat 20%, on top of giving the whole team her massive attack buff. Right now, Zervo is the absolute best Cosmos option for this team. He does something literally no one else in the game can do. He gains an instant 100 cycle points just by tapping his skill. If you're newer and wondering what the heck cycle points are, here is a quick refresher. Every time you use a normal attack, skill, or ultimate, a little circle near your character's icon fills up with cycle points. Once it hits 100, you can swap to another character to trigger a reaction. Because Zero instantly maxes out his 100 points with one button press, your team rotations become blindingly fast. This means your main DPS gets to spend way more time on the field actually blowing stuff up. If you need survivability, Edgar is a fantastic backup. She heals the team and can also hold the speedy hedgehog console to buff everyone's attack. Keep your eyes peeled though, because Hotaru is looking like an upcoming Cosmos buffer who might completely replace Zero on this team in the future. We'll have to wait and see. Before we wrap up with the spiciest new team comps, we need to have a quick chat about reaction hierarchy. Understanding this is the difference between struggling and speedrunning the game. There are currently two massive reactions that happen when you combine three specific elements. The first is Discord. You get this when you apply Scorch and Nova to the same boss. The second is Charge. You get this for free when you combine Blossom and Remora in a team. Always try to build your teams using either the top three elements or the bottom three elements on the reaction wheel to guarantee you get these massive three-element combos. On top of that, there are two specific reactions that just give your characters a straight-up steroid boost. Stain increases damage for Luxana and Psyche units by 20%. Hext increases damage for Anima and Incantation units by 20%. If you look at the reaction wheel, you'll see these sit exactly opposite from each other. If you are playing a DPS of those elements, you must trigger these reactions to get that free 20% damage multiplier. Okay, now that we are reaction experts, let's look at two insane teams you can build right now utilizing these mechanics. The first is the Discord Anima Nuke. You want to grab 3 units from the elements needed to form Discord, which are Daffodil, Sakiri, and Fadia. Then you add Nanalie as your Anima unit. Nanalie helps trigger Hext, buffing both Anima and Incantation damage. While the rest of the squad triggers the massive Discord chain, it is absurdly strong. The second team is the Charge Psyche engine. Following the exact same logic, but for the top half of the reaction wheel, you want Nanalie, Zero, Hathor, and a Psyche character like either Fadia or Haniel. If you check the graphic on the screen, you can see exactly how I route these teams using the cycle symbol to make sure the reactions overlap perfectly. This is going to be so much fun to test as the meta keeps evolving. I really hope this gave you guys some clear direction on how to dominate your account right now. I'm going to be dropping more guides just like this, going over the absolute best characters for every single reaction and full build guides, so definitely stay tuned. But I want to hear from you guys. Who are you planning to pair with your Sakiri, or are you saving for that upcoming Hotaru leak? Let me know down in the comments. I'd love to read your team ideas.